Dear students, welcome and thank you for tuning in. We are continuing our discussion about ceramics, its structure and applications and engineering. This is part of the material science class and also part of the biomaterials class. We're discussing general information and background and some history and also structural information about ceramics. So we'll continue by talking about the types of ceramics. We can characterize ceramics based on their applications. So we have structural ceramics. Those are the types of ceramics including bricks, pipes, floors, and roof tiles. Everybody is familiar with that. We have also something called refractories. Refractories are the pieces of materials or elements that can withstand a lot of heat. So we have some kiln linings, gas fire radiant, steel, and glass making crucibles. These are parts or pieces of equipment that withstand a lot of heat. That's why we use ceramics there. Also, we have something called the whitewares, including the tableware, wall tiles, decorative art objects. So we are also familiar with that. Now, these days, we developed something called technical ceramics, and also known as engineering, advanced or special ceramics. In Japan, they call them fine ceramics. And such items include high-end applications, pieces of equipment or parts that for a very advanced, applications. So they're used in space shuttles, ballistic protection, nuclear fuel, uranium, oxide, pellets, a lot of biomedical implants for biomedical application, jet engines. So there's a wide range of applications when we call it technical. Sorry, there was a typo here. It's usually the raw material do not include clay. Clays, when we term the ceramics as technical ceramics or fine ceramics. So those are the four types that are characterized by application of ceramics. We need to learn more about ceramics. We need to look into the internal structure of the ceramics. How are they made, and what are the elements that make ceramics? So if we look at the structure of ceramics and we went to the atomic level, so ceramics are defined as product made of inorganic, non-metallic materials. So they're not metals and not organic. And when we say organic, organic means materials that are found inside biological tissue, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. So those are organic materials. Inorganic are the other materials, and also there should be non-metallic. Interestingly, they have crystalline structure. Sometimes they don't have crystalline structures, but most times they have crystalline structures. Also, so we want to keep these in mind when we study or think about ceramics. So inorganic material elements, they are non-metallic, and also they have crystalline structures. Also, they're typically processed at high temperature, so because they withstand a lot of temperature. Unlike metal, ceramics are always composed of two or more elements. So we can't find ceramics made of a pure one element purely. So usually the bonding in a ceramic is between metallic and non-metallic elements. That's important. So you will have a metal and a non-metallic element, and they can form a ceramic. The bond in ceramics are typically partially or totally ionic. They can be ionic, partially ionic, and partially covalent. It's important to distinguish how much ionic bonding is there in my ceramic, because that affects the property of the ceramic. So we can say that we have 60% of my bonds are ionic, or 70%, or 10% of my bonds are ionic, and the other, let's say, portion of the bonds are covalent. That's very important. We have a lot of ceramics that have combined of ionic and covalent bonding. We will talk a little bit more about how to distinguish how much of my bonds are ionic as compared to covalent. The elements that make up the ceramics are combined in low state of thermodynamics free energy. And if you remember that all materials in the universe try to be in the lowest energy state and the largest entropy state. So because in its lowest energy state, there is low driving force for chemical transformation. That's why we are using ceramics in high temperature and in harsh chemical environment, because they don't react. Those are some important information about the structure of ceramics, and learning about the types of ceramics and how we characterize them based on their applications. Thank you. Until next video. Bye.